Our top 5 biggest wins in wholesaling real estate. What is up, guys? Zach Ginn here.
Rick Ginn here.
And in today's video, we're going to give you our top 5 biggest wins we've ever had in wholesaling real estate. We've kind of talked about our biggest failures, but we never really revealed our biggest wins in the wholesaling industry for ourselves and honestly our career for wholesaling. And I think it's exciting to go out here and share this maybe every year, every 2 years, so you guys can actually see our results and our success. But before we break it down, before we share exactly our top deals and everything like that, do us a favor, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe, and let's get into it. So first and foremost, before we reveal the wins, we need to know if you want to start getting wholesaling real estate wins, we do have a free wholesaling course, freewholesaling.com. That's all the knowledge you need to get your big wholesaling real estate win. We're going from number 5 to 1 ranked in order. Number 5 here was my first wholesaling deal. I think it was the biggest win period in my mind, a lot, especially starting out. And this is the thing that started it all. I made $20,000 from a bandit sign. And honestly, I had no point in getting that deal. That seller really kind of gave me the deal pretty much. I was a young 17-year-old, not really knowing what I was doing. But honestly, I feel like divine intervention came in and let me get that deal that eventually led me to where I'm at now, making millions of dollars in real estate and teaching you guys how you can do the same exact thing. Guys, I got that call when I was in my high school class, got kicked out for answering it, met the seller as soon as possible, made over $20,000 doing it. I can tell you, you can do the same exact thing. These deals, it wasn't like an insane amount of money that changed everything, but it changed my mindset on things that let me quit my job and start pursuing wholesaling full time. That 20 grand was more than I ever made in over the many years I was a bag boy as a teenager. And I'm telling you, it started it all and it led me to wholesaling success.
So that catapults me to number 4, which is going to be my first deal. I wasn't 16. To be honest with you, you guys know the story is I worked 12 years in a corporate job with a college degree and I had it. And I decided I found real estate investing and I found this little niche called wholesaling. And I came across my first deal. My actual first deal was from a realtor referral because I went and knocked on every realtor's door. And she says, you know, my mom needs to sell her house. She's got a little old house. It's really outdated and it was on the water. And I'm like, man, I can't do that deal. Long story short, I did the deal. They got the buyer actually got financing from Bank of America and they gave me a $10,000 assignment fee. Now, guys, this is all the way back in 2003. I thought that was a ton of money. I couldn't believe someone would actually cut me a check because that was like months of work for me in my corporate job at 60, 70, 80 hours a week. And guys, when I got it, I was just like, I stared at it for days. I showed my wife. I'm just like, man, I have 2 or 3 more pending contracts. This could get really good. And I gave the property away, to be honest with you. The guy made a ton of money, 6 figures off of me, but it was a victory and it catapulted me to go, hey, I want to do this full time. I actually did wholesaling while I had my full-time job because I had prior obligations like a lot of you guys did, but that was what started this whole thing off. And honestly, I will never forget that day for as long as I live.
Number 3 here, this was my first $100,000 deal. This was a deal that obviously, if it's 100K, came from a probate, which has the most motivation in these deals. And honestly, it changed my thoughts and my processes on everything. Once I did my first $100,000 deal, I was like, holy moly. And I started doing $100,000 deals basically every single month after that, because it wasn't because doing that $100,000 deal made me a better wholesaler. It changed my mindset on how to actually do it. And it changed everything. So that was $100,000 net on a real estate deal, which was just insane because I was used to making 20, 30, 40 at most on these deals, and change it to 100K, changed everything. The point here is you gotta have a lot of motivation and you gotta lowball like crazy. Now, number 2 here was my personal, okay, not yours, but my personal, that's where we're leaving for number 1. You gotta show me up apparently. But my biggest wholesaling deal was about $115,000 and I shared it publicly on the YouTube channel. This was obviously another probate. And really that was kind of that streak where I was having after we got 100K, I started doing 100K deals every single month. And that was the biggest one I did. It was $115,000 on one wholesaling real estate deal. Now, the honest truth is there's a ton of motivation. I was expecting to make 70 on the deal, but it ended up the people wanted to buy it for way more, and it ended up making an extra 40K on top of pretty much that 70, which led me making $115,000 on that deal. Key here was this probate. There was a lot of competition with that deal, but guess what? I stood around, I talked to the seller about their issues, and we kept talking about it, and I built that rapport, and I got the deal. Guys, that is the point here. Probates are going to be insane. Now, that deal actually came from a direct mail piece from the ROS postcards, which led to the probate conversation. It actually wasn't a probate mailer. was just a probate situation with a high equity. So that was pretty cool.
And that was on a single family house, right?
I was on a single family house, $115,000.
Guys, it's possible. If you get the right lead, the right motivation, and you get a demand for the product in the right market, it happens quickly. And it just doesn't happen every now and then. If you stay in the game, eventually you'll come across deals just like this. And coming in at number one is I did a deal that honestly, I was scared to death to do it. I actually got this lead from a realtor. This was, and I believe it was about 6 years into my career. And what it was down in South Florida. It was actually on the beach. Now I'm like, I can't, how am I going to wholesale a beachfront property? Well, she says, come down and look at it. And so I decided to get in the car, drive down there and take a look at it. And all I noticed is now I looked at real estate different, and right next to it was a Trump Tower. And I go, there's no way I can't make this work. So basically it was an old, what they call a co-op. And I didn't know what a co-op was. And a co-op's just a fancy word for like a shared living arrangement where they divide up a piece of property. Because it was beachfront, people paid for like little 1 bedrooms. Well, so it was wound up being like, it was like 7,000 or 8,000 square feet. Now, ready for this? The realtor goes, she wants $1 million. I'm like, $1 million? Like, it's way out of my league. And after I settled down and I digested it, we sat and talked. We looked at the property one more time. I presented an offer at $700,000. They accepted at $800,000 with a 90-day inspection period. I got the guts. I just wrote the contract. I had no idea what I was going to do. Long story short is I went out and I paired up with other partners with it to put the entire deal together. And it took about six or 7 months and we got it done. Now, the crazy part is I thought I was going to make $1.2 million on it. And honestly, I should have. A lot of factors happened. I didn't know what I was doing. I was inexperienced. I had the wrong partner. But here's the deal. As I took the risk and I did the deal, I didn't make 1.2 and I was disappointed. I only made $165,000. And the moral story of the short is you can't go wrong by taking action. And because I took action, I made $165,000. And if I had the tools I had today, I would have made well over $1 million. And I was scared and I was way outside my comfort zone. I wrote a contingency plan. I got 90 days to figure this out. I think it's a really, really good deal. I got beach, I've got demand, I've got incredible development next to it. And the deal worked out wonderfully. And I'm here to tell you guys, sometimes you just got to get out your comfort zone. Listen, it doesn't matter what the numbers are. If there's opportunity and there's motivation, deals like that can be put together. And once you train your eye to do it, and wholesaling will do it for you, especially at freewholesaling.com. These are the tools that I learned to make me a multimillionaire I am today. And if I didn't take that risk and I didn't keep stretching my bounds, I wouldn't be here talking to you today. Guys, you have to believe in yourself. When you get scared, ask yourself why I'm scared, because I've never been there before. Find a way to get there, create the opportunity, lock it down, and go get people to help you out. That is the moral of the story. And this is why we're sharing this video with you. Hopefully to inspire you that you can do the exact same thing. I never thought my little $10,000 checks would turn into $165,000 checks. And I'm actively fighting to make the $1 million deals now. It has been a process all through it. And I shoot this video to try to inspire you because I was a small-minded person with a college degree, just thought I was doing the safe and right thing. And honestly, I didn't understand it. And this is why I'm talking to you today.
That's it, guys. Going the safe route, it's not going to get you rich. It's not going to get you there. We want to share our biggest wins to inspire you for you to get your big win. And how do you get big wins? Guys, we can talk about the big wins, but the most important one's the video that we've already put out, which is about biggest failures. That's something that's just way, way more important because it's how you deal with the failures that lead you to consistently doing it, even when you don't want to get up and do it, to create the wins out here, guys. If you're broke right now and you want to make a change, you got to consistently show up every single day, take the action, and do the volume. None of these deals would have been possible unless I decided I was going to make a change in my life and live a life that I'd be proud to live and a life well lived. So guys, if you want to go out here, start making deals like this, get in the minds of the people that created those wins, do us a favor, make sure you go to freewholesaling.com or free wholesaling course, and we'll see you soon. This is Zach signing out.
Rick signing out.
Have a blessed one.